What up, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Fencer, Princer, SoundCloud, SoundClick, and all points ignorance. I almost said stupidity, but stupidity is a choice. It really is. Stupidity is you want to act a certain way. And when you don't want to act that way, you simply don't. It's a choice. I want to be in a state of stupor. There's stupidity where you choose to be in a certain way, and then there's ignorance where you just don't know. But you act accordingly to what you do know and talk about something which you don't have a full understanding of. And that's what Tomi Lahren is. She basically started spouting off about Beyonce. Everybody knows what happened during the Super Bowl. Beyonce pretty much was out there in a uniform that represented the Black Panthers, threw her hand up, and she pretty much had a video with children and cops in it, and the kid dancing in front of the cops, and a big old sign saying "Stop shooting us." So Beyonce was not saying, well, the whole act of what Beyonce did was misconstrued as an act against the police, and now the police are refusing to cover her concerts. So she has a concert coming up, and everybody knows Beyonce. When Beyonce has a concert, it's a shut down concert. It's sold out. Even though the tickets are like 1,300, like $1,300 is ridiculous. Nonetheless, 13 to 17 actually, they're pretty expensive. But nonetheless, a lot of people love Bey, and she did her thing out there during the Super Bowl, and she was pretty much talking about stop killing us. So now the police do not want to work her concerts because they feel that what she did was against the cops, but it was against police brutality. So her and Charlemagne get into a heated conversation because Charlemagne, who is from, it's not Hot 97, I forgot what radio show it is, but him and Angela Yee and DJ, I forgot what his name is also, I'm sorry. But he does Donkey of the Day, and he gave her Donkey of the Day because Tomi Lahren went on a rant talking about Beyonce, really, and then went into talking about the Black Panther Party and how the Black Panther Party was against the police and all this, so on and so forth. But what she did not know was the Black Panther Party was not against the police. They were against police brutality. And they wanted to be judged by jury of their peers. Two of the people who started the Black Panther Party were educated men, meaning they had degrees, and or they were studying for further education. They wanted the police to stop killing people and stop brutalizing their neighborhoods, and police are still brutalizing their neighborhoods. Actually, one of the Black Panthers who was just let out of jail, he was in there for a record of 43 years in solitary confinement because the federal government went after the Black Panther Party, just like the federal government went after the Move people and blew up a church with four little girls who died in there, and of course other people. And they just do not like the fact that when black people stand up for themselves against the police, police who, not all police, but the police who terrorize us, black and white, but mostly white. There was a man who was just executed, I think yesterday. I mean, they're shooting us in front of everybody to show their, superiority. And they could have worked out another way not to kill this man. But listen, Tomi Lahren. Last year there were over 900 black people killed by the police. Like, since Obama has been in office, they have killed men, women, and children. 5-year-olds, 8-year-old, little girls. Tamir Rice, 12 years old, shot 2 seconds after the cop gets out the car. Listen, and Tomi Lahren goes on this rant about how the Black Panther Party was against the police. But it's, of course, the way people took it is, Tommy, you're against us being brutalized and murdered in front of everybody. Eric Garner was killed in New York in front of everybody. Scott was killed in LA in front of everybody for no reason. And these cops have no accountability. Tamir Rice was killed in a playground for having a BB gun. They didn't say anything to him. They just got out and shot a 12-year-old boy. And then you wonder why we're upset because of what this ignorant woman said. Like Tomi Lahren, listen, there is blood in the water. Listen, people, and 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 what's really crazy is she said, this woman was really crazy. She said, if they would have did what Martin Luther King, if Beyonce would have represented Martin Luther King, she wouldn't have had a problem with it. And she said the Black Panthers were against what Martin Luther King was, because Martin Luther King wanted, peaceful protests. And look how that went. You killed him too, but he wanted peaceful protests. And it's like, do you know what happened in Selma, Tommy? Because you're only 23 years old. Do you actually know what happened in Selma when they marched all the way to Selma? Do you know how many people got beaten, got killed, got hung? Do you think that peaceful protest was just us marching and them going, you know what, you're right? No, people died, Tommy, in the most horrible, brutal way. Children, little babies, children who don't even know what's going on, dead by white people who hate black people. And listen, I don't have nothing against white people. I have something against racist people. So Tommy, like, this has been years and years and years of watching our children get brutalized, watching our children get hung, watching our women, we can't even protect our women. Look, last year they just shot a woman for answering her door. They shot her and killed her and her kid, because she answered the door. It was in Chicago. Like, they hung Sandra Bland and nobody was charged. And Sandra Bland wasn't the only person who was hung. They've been hanging our women, Tommy. How would you like if somebody killed your child in front of you and said, you know what? So what? Because that's what happens. Then go to a grand jury and the grand jury says, hey, we're not going to indict the people who killed your child. And then I noticed you have guns. So you were against the Black Panther Party arming themselves to protect black people, but yet you're running around with a gun. See, so we should all put down our guns, Tomi Lahren, and let people kill us, and then have a conversation about people killing us in order for them to keep killing us and for us to keep having a conversation. That's what your suggestion is? So we shouldn't arm and protect ourselves at all against people. Listen, not against police, against anyone. Anyone who's killing us. Anyone, this black, white, whatever, race, color, county, creed, whoever. Whosoever. See, we have an inalienable right just like you do. And that's just the truth. But you're bleached blonde and white, and so you take up this stance. You come out of nowhere, and you did it all for the ratings. You take up this stance talking about how the Black Panther parties were different from Martin Luther King, and we should just have peaceful protests. But nonetheless, every day there are black people being slaughtered in the street. Answer me this. When's the last time a black cop shot a white person? You don't worry, I'll wait. Shot and killed a white person. They shot and killed him. Heck, when's the last time they shot an Asian? Or somebody from India? When's the last time you saw a black cop shoot somebody white? Don't worry, I'll wait. So to say that the system is okay and we should just have this conversation and just keep letting cops kill our children with AK-47s and, well, not AK-47s, they're using M16s, A2 rifles is something that I use because I was in the military. They're using M16s, and they just killed a man yesterday with an M16, Glock 40, Glock 45s, and shooting our children with it. Tommy, there is no conversation. There's no more conversation. You want a conversation? All our conversations are ending at the end of a gun. There's no more conversation left. America hates black people. And then you have other countries who hate black people too. There's no more conversation. There's too much blood. And they're just going to keep doing it. Every time we have a conversation, they kill us. Look at the Black Lives Matter people. They shot 5 of them down in Ferguson. Then they killed more. They killed more than what actually hit the news. They took one dude and they burned him. And he wasn't from Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. You know where he's from? He testified in the Ferguson, during the Ferguson case. They burned him to death. So there's no conversation. Because there's murderous people just keep murdering us. I'm done with the conversation. I say protect yourself the best that you can. And this goes for anybody. Because listen, there are some good cops out there. There really are. I've met some. I'm not friends with any cop. But there are good cops who just want to do their job and go home. Because they realize the ridiculousness of what's actually happened. We're all human beings. Look, we're all going to face God. Nobody's getting away with anything. Just because a grand jury doesn't indict a cop doesn't mean that cop he's going to get away with something. That just means he got by. Darren Wilson is a murderer. And that's all that's to it. He shot a kid in the face. In the face. He is a murderer. Michael Brillo, he is a murderer. Those guys who killed, those guys in New York who killed Amadou Diallo, murderers. This has been going on for the longest I can remember. And long before that, these cops who are rogue cops, not all cops, are murderers. They're killing children. They're doing the worst heinous crimes to us. There is no more conversation. There's none. You're killing our children. There's none. I have no love for somebody who kills. And I have no love for somebody who kills our children. And if you people who established America according to the Bible, you need to read that Bible. Because the Bible talks about what happens to you when you do something against children. So, I'm done. I could go on forever with the facts, with the pure facts, but I'm not. Because, Tommy, you're ignorant. And you are telling people not to involve your family. But guess what, Tommy? All of our families are in it. You wanted the ratings. You wanted to be noticed. Well, now we see you. All of us. We know who you are. We know what side you stand on. And as far as doing an interview with Tommy Sotomayor, that was a waste. Because black people do not identify with Tommy Sotomayor. He has separated himself from black people. And that's just the truth. So, you wanted to be in it, Tommy. You're in it. You want to be noticed, you're noticed. We see you. We know what your position is. We know what your stance is. And we highly, highly, highly recommend that you reconsider what you say before you say it. It's your boy Tone 202. I'm out.